Hey RG Nation, Brian Durham here, and I'm with our on-staff attorney and Vice President of Risk Management, Jackie. And today we're going to talk about what to do when that appraisal comes in low and how to use those appraisal gap clauses. So Jackie, let's take a step back. And what is an appraisal gap clause?
So an appraisal gap clause is a clause that you can add to a purchase agreement that will essentially guarantee that a buyer will cover any gap that might exist between the appraised value of your house and the purchase price that's agreed upon for that house.
And I know the reason that as agents, we love appraisal gap clauses. In the market where there's 20 offers on a house, it can help push your offer to the head of the list.
And another benefit of including an appraisal gap clause in your purchase agreement is that it functions to automatically address a situation that might come up when a house appraises lower than the purchase price by automatically establishing that the buyer has already agreed to cover any gap that might exist between the purchase price and the appraised value.
And that's why it's so important to make sure you do have a cap on it. I've seen some that were basically unlimited. And that really is to protect the seller versus protecting the buyer.
What we're seeing more and more are appraisals that come in even lower than expected, where you've got a appraisal gap clause inserted in your purchase agreement stating that buyer is going to cover $25,000 gap amount. The appraisal comes in even lower and you have a $50,000 gap. Unless you incorporate language into your appraisal gap clause that specifically states that the purchase price is going to automatically adjust to your appraised value plus your agreed upon gap coverage amount, you may still be left with an additional gap that needs to still be negotiated even if you included.
Yeah, because if you still have a gap, you have to bridge that gap somewhere, right? So basically it's just opened it up to renegotiation now. If you don't have verbiage in there that says buyer and seller agree to do X, it's just
automatically adjust the purchase price based on that appraisal. Yeah, you might still be in a situation that requires more negotiation to figure out how that gap that's still there is going to be covered.
Well, Jackie, that was a lot of information in a really short period of time. Thanks, RG Nation, for paying attention. If you have any questions ever, especially around appraisal gap clauses, make sure you're calling BS, and we're here to help you all the time.